Analysis machine, let's finish what we started.
Understood.
Give me Boruto episode 22 and 23.
Orders given. Orders received.
Hey guys, this is D Reaper, and it's time once again for a Reaper's Review. Today we're going to be reviewing Boruto episode 22 and 23. If you missed the previous reviews on episodes 19 through 21, you might want to check that one out first, and I'll have the analysis machine leave a link to that right about here. For everyone else, let's go ahead and jump right into it. After Sakura gets captured, Naruto tries to track the enemy, but it's no good. They are either too far away or concealed by some sort of barrier. Deducing that Shin is likely tied to Orochimaru, Naruto and Sasuke decide to seek answers from Orochimaru himself, and Naruto suggests the two girls continue to travel with him, both for their safety, and also to give Sarada the opportunity to get some of her questions answered. Sarada is disturbed by how little Sasuke seems to care about Sakura, but Sasuke can't be bothered by such things. A ninja's mindset should be mission-focused. Meanwhile, Sakura is being held at blade point by several of the Shins. Sakura shows open opposition to the fact that the eldest Shin sacrifices the child Shin to harvest his organs to repair the damage she did to him. Even so, she stays put as the eldest Shin operates on himself, as he tells Sakura that the only reason he's going to let her live is in case she proves to be useful to him. They begin talking about the philosophy of genealogy and evolution, further distressing Sakura with his deranged rantings about re-establishing the Akatsuki. He claims this will force ninjas to fight and grow stronger, while simultaneously weeding out the weak. Meanwhile, the others arrive at Orochimaru's hideout/house arrest facility, and we see a few familiar faces along with Orochimaru himself. And though Orochimaru's ambiguous gender is on brand, and Suigetsu looks like a slightly taller version of his former self, Jugo looks terrible. Just look at that hair. Or not, just toss another bad character design on the growing pile. Sarada recognizes Suigetsu and Jugo from the picture, so while the others are still pressing Orochimaru for details about Shin, Sarada pulls Suigetsu aside and asks for a DNA test to verify who her mother really is. Fortunately, they just so happen to have a piece of Karin's umbilical cord lying around. A quick swab later, and Sarada is waiting anxiously for her test results. I think this is a good time to plug the sponsor for today's video, 23andMe.
Notice. Requested sponsorship has been denied.
Dag nabbit. Well, whatever. Turns out Karin and Sakura's DNA is a 100% match. Obviously, Sarada is devastated with the knowledge that she's been living a lie all this time. Suigetsu, who's been mostly nonchalant this whole time, only just realizes after seeing Sarada's reaction that this is kind of a big deal. He makes a break for it and pauses only a moment when he's held up by Naruto, who happened to overhear the whole exchange. Naruto manages to calm Sarada down with talk no jutsu, and they rejoin the others with Sarada's renewed vigor to rescue her mom. Now equipped with Orochimaru's information and Sasuke's visual prowess no longer on cooldown, the gang climbs aboard Sasuke's Susanoo and take flight for Shin's base. While at the actual base, Shin has completed the operation on himself and declares since Sasuke does not deserve the name of Uchiha, he will kill him and take his eyes for himself. The next episode starts as they locate Shin's base, and Sarada internally expressing her resolve to save her mom. With little time to lose, the team rushes in to find Sakura, but they're held up by a number of Shin clones. Naruto and Chocho are stuck outside dealing with the Shins, as more and more clones appear, while Sasuke rushes in after Sarada. While they're fighting their way into the base, Sakura picks a fight with the adult Shin. Though she puts up a good fight, it seems like she might have bitten off more than she can chew, as Shin soon gets the upper hand. Fortunately, her family arrives just in time to save her from Shin's attack, and a counterattack from Sasuke takes one of Shin's legs. After verifying that Sakura is okay, Sasuke moves in for the kill, but instead gets stabbed by Elder Shin, who sacrifices yet another clone to get the drop on Sasuke. It seems like the tables have turned, as Shin prepares to wipe out the Uchiha family in a rain of blades. But he's not prepared for their team attack, as Sasuke switches places with Sakura, and she manages to land a finishing blow on adult Shin, taking him out of the fight. But his backup responds quickly, and the Uchiha are facing down a small army of Shins. But instead of coming to his aid, they literally stab him in the back, declaring he's no longer needed. Naruto and Chocho show up shortly after that, and the group begins to fight a still increasing number of Shins. But adult Shin has one more gambit. He attempts to steal Sakura and escape with his main body. But in a completely necessary maneuver, Sarada takes him down. The group will still have to deal with the Shin clone army, but when they get a glimpse of how scary Naruto and Kurama can be, the Shins back off. The Uchihas take a second to enjoy a well-earned family moment, but the group now must decide what to do with the Shins. They are, after all, just children being manipulated by a twisted adult. In a welcome callback, the Shins are sent to the orphanage run by Kabuto, and the rest of the group returns to the Leaf Village. As they arrive at the gate, Chocho is lamenting that they started this journey in order to find her dad, but ended up finding Sarada's instead. Just then, she notices Choji talking with Ino, and recognizes the man that she saw while sick in bed. She runs over to meet her new dad, while Ino and Naruto confirm that it is in fact just Choji, likely after using his butterfly form. Ino notices Sasuke is with the group and attempts to greet him, but Sarada protectively blocks her path. We cut to Karin scolding Sugetsu for him very understandably believing she might actually be Sarada's mom, as she confirms the umbilical cord they tested belonged to Sarada and Sakura. Though how exactly Sugetsu came to believe that this umbilical cord was Karin's is unclear. Later we get further reinforcement on Sarada's lineage, as Sakura expresses how silly it is for Sarada to doubt that she was in fact her biological mom. This occurs while the three of them are having a family dinner. The next day, as Sasuke is set to leave the village once more, he jabs Sarada on the forehead, preserving the sign of affection displayed by his late brother, and takes off, leaving Sakura unread. And in our epilogue scene, we see that the interaction with Naruto over the course of this adventure has inspired Sarada to aim for the title of Hokage. Okay, so what's Reaper's verdict?
Master D. Reaper, Ryuji is on the line.
What? Really? Patch him through.
I was tired of waiting. Let me help.
In the middle of a review, actually.
Then it's my shot. Let's tear him apart.
Well, actually, the past few episodes of Boruto haven't been that bad.
For real?
Yeah, well, listen. Let me finish up here and we'll talk later. Right. So, episode 22 wasn't too bad. About a 5.5. Acknowledging that they're at least trying to utilize their myriad of known options to solve the immediate solution is important and a welcome change of pace. Having to go to Orochimaru to get information about Shin was a good segue as well, for Sarada to make progress on her side quest. I must admit, when I first saw this, I was almost as shocked as Sarada herself when the test determined that she was 100% DNA match with Karin. I mean, it does kind of make sense when you think about it. Sasuke has really shown any signs of affection for Sakura on screen, and we do know that he spends next to no time in the village. Given the facts present, it's not easy to imagine a circumstance that would result in Sakura raising a child that was not biologically hers. Suddenly, all the strange behavior Sakura is displaying when Sarada starts digging into her past starts making sense. The scene with Naruto talking with Sarada is very well done, and deserves addressing in detail. As Sarada is left alone crying, and her whole world shattered, in walks Naruto. Now, we've all seen Naruto talk his way through some pretty impossible situations, but this one seems different somehow. What can you say to a child whose entire world has just been shattered in front of them? When Naruto mentions Sakura, Sarada is beyond done. She lashes out at him, saying that Sakura is just like a stranger to her, and she doesn't want to hear anything from adults that only tell her lies. She tries to run off, but Naruto holds her back gently. This is a risky move. The last thing a child whose trust has just been broken needs is an adult forcing them to do something because they're physically stronger or because they have more authority. But through his words and actions, Naruto shows that he doesn't want to force anything on her. He just needs her to listen. As the two have a back and forth, Naruto explains that given his circumstances, the people who looked after him and cared for him growing up were not his blood relatives, but it didn't make them any less family. Even here, Naruto doesn't force Sarada to see things through his perspective, but instead urges her to search her heart and not hide from her true feelings. He then asks her to be honest about what she wants to do. And it turns out Sarada does still want to save her mom. Naruto's Talk no Jutsu has certainly matured, and Big Boy Naruto did an excellent job intervening in a very delicate situation. If this arc's entire takeaway was that biology doesn't determine family, then I would have given this a 10 out of 10. But this is Boruto, so you know that they're going to undermine everything they set up, showing that they themselves don't buy into their message. And the reason I can say this so boldly is by how far they stretch reality in order to identify the mistaken DNA test as one big coincidence, which includes, but is not limited to, why is Sakura acting so weird about sharing the most basic information about Sasuke? Why was Sakura traveling when she was 9 months pregnant? Or if they were in the Leaf Village, which isn't what's implied, why was Karin considered a better midwife than the many-certified medical ninja at the Leaf Village hospital? Why did Karin keep the umbilical cord? Why wasn't something like that tagged, dated, and labeled? Why would Sugetsu be confused on whether or not Karin had been pregnant? I wouldn't call them besties, but they seem to be on regular speaking terms. It seems odd that he would jump to that conclusion without prior knowledge. A lot of scenes and conversations that seem to make a lot more sense if Sarada's birth was linked to some kind of pain or trauma. Something like Sasuke intentionally not being present for Sarada's birth, or Sarada's birth being a product of Sasuke's infidelity would both be legitimate reasons for Sakura to feel hurt and be unwilling to divulge information that would bring up pain that she'd rather keep buried in the past. The threat of someone coming in to question the legitimacy of your child you raised for 12 years just because you're not related biologically is certainly a reason to be defensive and insecure divulging information. As it stands now, Sakura is just completely unhinged. It's like I come home from school one day and say, "Hey mom, did I get any mail?" And she picks up a dining room table and hurls it across the room. And I'm like, "What the F was that about?" And she says, "Oh, nothing." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And life goes on normally. We went through a lot of effort spanning multiple episodes to set up for what was effectively a brief fake-out. And since the exonerating information is based on a series of shaky coincidences, it makes it feel like their family isn't all about biology message is strictly hypothetical. Episode 23 was alright, maybe a 6.5. But I can't express how frustrating it is to watch Naruto and Sasuke being slowed down by what's essentially fodder. If Sarada can get past the Shins by doing this, Naruto and Sasuke can sleepwalk into Shin's base without being detected. And then there's the fact that Naruto spent so much time goofing off outside when one of his closest friends could be in danger. Let's say that this is Bizarro World, and one of Naruto's clones are equal to one of Shin's clones. Even with the roughly 2,000 clones he has tied up running the Leaf Village, I'm pretty sure he could spare a few hundred to hold the Shins down while he goes in to help Sasuke. I won't lie and say Sasuke didn't have some cool moments, but this should have been the tempo of all fights encountered in this arc. No characters are in any danger while either of these two are around, and I don't think any of the viewers would mind watching several straight episodes of no one being in danger because Naruto and Sasuke are doing boss stuff. Sakura vs Shin is easily the best fight in the series so far. I actually don't have a problem with Sakura getting pressured here and needing to be rescued, as she's never been known as a taijutsu specialist, so I thought her hand-to-hand fight with Shin was pretty impressive. What was less impressive, or rather downright nonsensical, is that Sakura was the one who actually picked the fight in the first place. It made sense if she wanted to stall for time and wait for backup. That's the only reason I can see her not making a move while he was still in surgery, unless she was trying to stretch the Hippocratic Oath, or else she was on some kind of Vegeta saying pride nonsense. If she went this far already, she probably could have had him monologuing for another half hour at least, instead of initiating a fight when she was at the least favorable position since arriving. Or at the very least, she at least could have prioritized running away. It seems like such a stupid call for what's supposed to be one of Naruto's smartest characters to make. As it was, the others barely made it in time to save her. And I don't care what you're smoking, Sasuke does not get stabbed here. Even if Boruto Sasuke has the stamina of a geriatric chain smoker, he said himself that his powers had returned, so all the options we mentioned before are viable here. Things like this is what makes it so absolutely unbelievable when Genin are able to pitch in and be useful in this situation. Which is why Sarada's intervention here is so nonsensical. Once again, I know they want to give Sarada her moment, but if that's the case, then they have to make it believable. And anyone who can injure one of these three, even due to carelessness, is well beyond the reach of anyone not considered an elite ninja. It would be one thing if the enemy was so little a threat that they decided to use the situation as a teaching moment. But as both Sasuke and Sakura are injured, that reasoning really doesn't work here. I will say, likely the coolest moment in the episode, and a contender for the biggest flex in the entire Naruto series, is Naruto telling Kurama to calm down and not completely devour the Shins. He literally had them quaking in absolute terror. As mentioned before, bringing the Shins to Kabuto's orphanage was a good callback, especially after checking in with so many characters that have direct ties to Orochimaru. And though the attempted humor involving Sarada's reaction to Ino falls flat, as the only thing Sarada should know Ino as is her mom's good friend, it's good to see the Uchihas get to spend a few heartfelt moments together, and it does seem well deserved after everything they've been through, and a fitting way to bring a close to this arc. And for the icing on the cake, Sayonara Moontown, this arc's closing theme, which I praised previously, for both its sound and great visuals, depicting Sarada's internal struggle with her parents and her own identity, with her uncertainty being reflective of the blank faces and turned backs of her parents. Seeing the ending involved with Sarada walking off with her two parents smiling does slightly warm my frozen heart. Hey guys, this is Reaper Post Credit. And if you made it this far, we just want to say thank you for watching. The results from the interest polls have been tallied, and it seems like a lot of you want to see us review more Boruto, so we'll try and do a few more arcs just for you. And since we reached the end of another arc, let us know in the comments section if you want us to continue our Rewriting Boruto series. You can check that one out next if you enjoyed this video, and we'll keep an eye out for both. But for now, it's time to bring this review to a close. My name is D Reaper, and I'm a YouTuber for fun. Today's challenge? Smile. Good luck, and I'll see you all in the next one.